Hey, it's your boy Darth Bobcat doing a review of Richard C. Myers' Iron Sights the Only Way You Possibly Could. So, this was his second Indiegogo, but actually the first story that was completed thanks to the people like me who have been Patreoning him the whole time. So let's talk a little bit about my thoughts as I opened it. I decided not to do an unboxing video just because I wanted to actually read it first before I started recording. And I like the production values on here except for one small detail. Whatever this black stuff is, and I don't know how well it shows up, you'll see it has a lot of, just from me carrying it around and holding it for about half an hour of reading, I would say. There's a lot of places where the black has kind of picked up my thumbprints. I don't know what this stuff is. It's not like the stuff I get from Marvel or DC. So I would say that whatever this coating is, it isn't fantastic. It picks up thumbprints like nobody's business. Now it could just be because it's, black cover, so it shows up more easily. But getting back to the actual art. Man, I'm totally channeling Richard here, talking about the quality of the paper before I even get into anything else. So, the cover here is okay. Mr. Canales is a good artist for what he's doing. This cover is, of course, just objectively better, and it's always easier to do cover art than internals because you get to really focus on it. I mean, Esme here looks really good. You get a good sense of these characters up here. Just like all ripped and awesome, and it really sells the overall premise. I even really like this detail here where they have the bright lights indicating the lights on the car. Although it's one of those things where it does actually show up better in the video on my phone at least than it does in the actual thing. So to start off with, this is I've heard people describe it like Sicario and No Country for Old Men. Both movies I have not personally seen. So I don't really have a point of comparison for it story-wise, because this isn't my type of thing. And that may be part of the reason I liked it quite as much as I did. Maybe some people who had seen more stories like this would kind of see some similarities. For me, this felt pretty fresh. And this is very much a gritty crime drama. But with a lot of moments that actually just made me kind of grin. And oddly, you ever read something that just feels kind of gritty but you feel oddly good about it? It's like a good fast food, I would almost say. So I would say that let's see here, how much detail to go into. Well, so let's cover the art a little bit first. I would say that, let's see here, Ibai Canales, I can kind of tell that I feel like he gets better as the book goes on. So just like there's something wonky with the perspective about this guy here in this scene. I'm not enough of an artist to actually judge it effectively. But even early on here, he has some great facial expressions. Like he is great at the acting of everything. I would say that we've got basically got three stories kind of coming to a head here. We've got this guy here who is Mr. Cancel here. He is basically a mob accountant who's never had to get his hands dirty before. So and his boss here, who I love the facial expressions on this guy, basically tells him, go out, actually get your hands dirty, and then you'll really be part of this organization. Then we've got Ramadi here, who is the main character. He's bored after getting back from Iraq and spending some time as kind of a glorified babysitter for a bunch of oil workers. And this is Woods. Woods here, named for the great James Woods. is probably the best character in the whole thing. Just a kind of angry old man character that makes people love guys like, oh, Wolverine. Just like somebody, Wolverine is a bad comparison. He actually has a heart of gold. Woods has a darkness in his heart where heart should be, but he ends up being... I probably smirked the most at things that he said. So basically, as you may have seen as I was flipping through here, Ramadi sees a beautiful woman being menaced by guys across the border, and he happened to have his sniper rifle out because he was bored and just plunking rabbits. And like a lot of people, he goes, oh, okay, cute woman across the border, time to save her. And it's basically about everything going completely to crap. So let me show a couple of examples of bits of art that kind of stood out to me as early process Ibai versus late process Ibai. So there is a lot of what I would call sketchiness here. Like especially for some reason the sister seems to get the worst of it. Better not show everything so I don't get a copyright strike. Like, I'm sorry, just the way she looks in that picture was not quite ready for prime time. Meanwhile, if we skip over to later in the book, like this bit right here, you can feel the action, you can feel the... You can feel the emotion. It's just great. So I feel like, I know that Ibai is going to work on future stuff by Richard, so I'm really looking forward to what he comes up with, bringing this late stage game up the whole time. Now, would I recommend Iron Sights? Well, it would be kind of cruel for me to do so because, of course, it's not in print at the moment. Diversity in Comics has said that he would bring along the comic later on, or he would bring it to market later on. But as an experience, I really did enjoy myself. I think that I decided that after reading it, I would say that I had this feeling I was going to enjoy Jawbreakers more, but I think this might actually end up being my favorite, just because there's a lot of really good punchy dialogue all the way along. Maybe not as... Maybe, I don't know. Jawbreakers will probably impress me because he's gotten more passes on it than the last time I saw. But, you know, back when it was the version 1 where everyone kind of looked roided out and he had everybody roast it. But yeah, this is a good first effort for Splatto Comics. Can I just say, figure out the coding here? I don't know how Marvel and DC usually do it, but this is not great feeling. It kind of made my fingers feel kind of tacky. I was actually worried at first that the ink was running, but thankfully that wasn't the case. Hey, I'm looking forward to see what Ibai does. I kind of like the cartooniness of it, and I especially would love to see like a Netflix or a Hulu movie based on this. Not a Hollywood movie, because you don't want the budget too high, because this thing is not a high budget film. This is just, you get an old actor and a young actor, and they kick ass with extreme violence. Well, remember to subscribe, give to the super chats that I don't have, and donate to the Patreon I don't have. But not seriously, Zach, I'm glad that you had this whole experience. I'm glad it came out. I'm honored to be one of the first ones who got it. And yeah, keep up the good work. Bye.